Hello and welcome to the Zach Ratliff Show. I'm Zach,
I'm Steve.
and let's do this. Steve is my most frequent guest, as my daughter likes to point out. She's like, "Why do you always have Steve on?" I'm like, "Because he's my friend and and adds to the show."
And if you ask me, I come.
Yeah, there we go.
If I'm in town.
Yeah, and would like to thank the donation of a new soundboard. So if you notice a little different sound quality today, that's thanks to you all, as a lot of these things are. Elmwood Custom Goods created the sign. Mortgage Financial here in Texarkana, they provide the location. Church on the Rock, Texarkana, they provided the startup location and other means to in a way to get this thing done. So I appreciate all the sponsors that we have and just the buy-in that we have. And like I was telling
the
you,
listeners,
Steve,
the viewers.
absolutely, the listeners and the viewers, which all of these people are. And that's a big deal to me. We're now downloaded in over 26 states. Well, over 26, over 25, so 26 states. And
Over 5.
Yeah, over 5. And then in 5 countries. And so...
And you're all invited to church with us this weekend at Church on the Rock.
Yeah,
.org.
.org.
Yeah, churchontherock.org. We'll love the hell out of you.
But our premium listener said we can't say that anymore.
Well, maybe we should explain what we're saying.
Yeah, go ahead and explain that.
Okay, so if you've got a problem, we will love on you and help you get over your problem. And our problems are because of the fall, the sin in this world.
Yeah,
So we will love the hell out of you.
there we go.
It's a nice thing to say.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's get into it. We had an awesome meeting last night at the Bowie County Patriots.
We did. We had a large group, several people there for the first time.
I mean, it was a packed house.
It was really
I didn't even
good.
get to sit in my normal seat, and it's kind of like church.
Several people didn't get to sit in their normal seat, and I could sense the level of uncomfortableness.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I'm not one of those, but it's like growing up. Even at our church, people have where they're going to sit.
They do.
Because like me, I sit in front of the cross, and then anytime somebody's kind of, I'm like, who's this joker think they are coming to my church, sitting in my seat? And
if I want to know if you're at church, that's where I look. I look right over there. There's other people. If I wonder so and so's here today, I look at where they usually sit.
Yeah, but anyway, we had such a crowd last night that it was amazing, and it was good to see a lot of the member. In theory, everybody there is a member of the Bowie County Republican Party that was there.
I guess.
Oh,
I mean, some of them came from out of the county.
Yeah, some of them definitely did. But it was good to see actual voted-in members of the Bowie County Republican Party.
Yeah,
there.
the precinct chairs. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see our party coming together due to the Patriots and due to the work that you and then Adam and Dale and other people are putting in on. Let's draw this party together. Let's do good for our county, our state, and our country.
You don't have to be a Republican to come to our group. It doesn't say Republican anywhere on our stuff.
Well, you don't have to be
constitutional conservatives and with Christian values.
You don't have to be Republican to be a patriot. This is about this is about what's best for our country in upholding the Christian values.
Some funny trivia. I wasn't there for it. Bowie County Patriots started in 2009. It was a Tea Party movement, and that's what they called it, Bowie County Patriots. And I think I came on board about 2011, something like that. But I'm told that Jasmine Crockett, she used to live here in Texarkana.
Yeah.
She was an attorney here. She was my attorney for a while. I'm told that she came to Bowie County Patriots fairly often, and she might not have agreed with everything everybody said, but everybody liked her. So she's gone through a little bit of a metamorphosis in her career.
Well, even the Patriots is a lot like our church, not quite as big a variation, but there's an eclectic group that comes. By all means, especially on the race diversity. We have, Asian people and multiple black people and Mexican people. And I mean,
and then
do what?
And then regular people.
Yeah, and then just regular people. No, but we have,
we prefer saltine Americans.
That's all right. But it's good to see we're joined by common
funny
values.
Because that's what Joe Biden said
about
white people. Just in case y'all are wondering why I'm so tacky. That was a reference to a Joe Biden joke.
Also,
he talked
DNA.
about poor people and Mexican people and regular people.
Yeah, that's exactly what Joe. I was with you, but probably good to point that out.
Yeah, because people get,
like I said,
not y'all, but other people get offended sometimes.
Well, anyway, let's talk about what happened last night at the Patriots, and I wasn't expecting such a showing. I mean, there were over 50 people there. On a Thursday night at a meeting at a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah,
I mean,
again, several people there for the first time.
Yeah.
We had people from Cass County, from Red River County. I think that's it. Plus Bowie County, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we had several precinct chairs that came for the first time.
Well, we had somebody from Miller County. She lives over in Miller
Oh
County.
yeah.
So-
Miller County also. So even Arkansas, 2 states.
Yeah, two states,
Yeah.
4 counties.
Yeah. Wow.
What a draw. Anyway, so what happened over there? What kind of fill us in?
You know what? Right towards the end, I had asked 2 people, Felix and Brittany, to be ready to do a presentation, and I completely forgot them. And we barely had time to talk about anything.
Yeah, I left
Apparently-
before they spoke.
Do what?
I left before they.
Oh, okay. Well, their thing is the city is thinking about narrowing State Line Avenue.
Yeah.
Still 3 lanes with a turn lane in the middle, but make all the lanes narrower so they can put wider sidewalks
Stupid.
on the side. It kind of is. Is there? I mean, I don't drive up and down State Line that often, but I don't see a lot of pedestrians on State Line.
Well, I'm on
I mean,
State
there
Line.
are a few, but I don't know if they're walking the full length or whatever.
I saw a guy the other day walking down the road that was on the opposite side of the sidewalk, walking through people's yards, and I thought, not on State Line, obviously, and I thought,
No.
this guy hates sidewalks.
Well, they want to widen the sidewalks. I think 10 feet on the Texas side, and I forget what the number is on the Arkansas side. But then also put 2 feet of grass between the sidewalk and the street, but narrow the streets. And that is, one person talked about, that's a 15-minute city thing, and it kind of is, and it's definitely part of the Agenda 2030. Those 17 goals, and one of the things that they want to do is make the streets narrower, make it harder for traffic to navigate. You got a lot of 18-wheelers going up and down that road for deliveries.
Right.
18-wheelers, box trucks, flatbeds for construction, all that stuff. And so making the lanes narrower is just not a good idea. And there's no, I mean, go to State Line, drive up and down it 4 or 5 times, and see how many pedestrians you see. There's no need for it. But that is one of the goals of Agenda 2030. Make it more and more inconvenient for cars, make it more convenient for bicycles and pedestrians.
Mhm.
And I guess there's bicycles on State Line too. Hopefully they have enough sense to ride on the sidewalk.
So a guy riding right down the road, turn lane the other day.
Yeah,
I mean, for a long time.
yeah, it's not smart. But that is one of the goals, and they want to do it in major areas like that. They want to do it in other areas, pedestrian areas. And the goal is to make it so people will go, well, maybe I should take my bicycle. No one's got a bicycle in Texas County that are riding around town.
Well, like I'm coming from Red Lick.
Yeah,
I'm not riding my bike to State Line.
yeah.
You know,
And so these people that
more
are,
than that, I'm
that
not
are
riding my
doing
bike
these
anywhere.
sustainability goals, they probably live in an area where it's not too far to go to the grocery store or go to wherever they go for amusement.
Right.
Probably gladiator matches or something where people get hurt. But their goals are, yeah, I think they do that a lot.
Mhm.
Their goals are to make things. They're their own little version of utopia, but it's a dystopia. If you can't, I mean, these people, if they ever came to Texas, they would say, they'd probably say, we need to make sure all these people get in a city because this is just too far to drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, look at what's happening with Mondami in New York, right?
Oh,
Going to socialize
so
all
weird.
socialize the grocery stores and rent control. And look, that
Are you looking for sponsors?
that only works for a little bit. Communism never works. There's not an example in history of where communism works.
Ever.
It doesn't. Even in Camelot with King Arthur, that could be thought of as a communistic state, but he was a king, right? But everybody worked for the better of everyone else. And Lancelot still stole his lady. You know what I mean?
You know
Like,
what?
it's-
There wouldn't be a black market if socialism was so good or communism was so good. They wouldn't have black markets in those countries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely.
But anyway,
right.
so the main thing last night to Bowie County Patriots was Dale Hulls is running for county chair. Our current county chair is a good guy. Everybody likes him. I sat with him at the convention during one of the sessions.
Dale is not our current.
Dale is not our current county chair.
But now you're talking about our current county
Our
chair.
current county chair, yeah.
Okay.
Good guy. I sat with him for one of the sessions at the state convention last summer, and man, I learned so much.
Yeah,
He knew exactly what was going on, what was going to come next.
he's very
Gave
much a
me
process
historical-
guy, I think.
Yeah, he gave me historical context for a lot of things. Very sharp guy. And again, a likable guy. I had fun sitting with him.
Yeah,
But Dale's point is that our county executive committee, which is all the precinct chairs and the chairman, the county chairman, and the county vice chairman. They make up the county executive committee. And it's that way in every county in Texas. It's the CEC, the county executive committee, the executive committee. It's referred to in different ways, and they make a lot more decisions about things than most people know. Most people don't know who their precinct chair is.
That's right. Well, and this is an example. When you're sitting at Thanksgiving, or you're at the water cooler at work, or you're eating dinner with someone who's like, man, I wish there was something I could do to let somebody know how I feel about how things are going. Your precinct chairman is over basically your neighborhood and a couple other neighborhoods around you. You tell that person, this is what I want to happen. That person then takes it to the county executive committee meetings. They tell the chairman, then they vote on it to move it to the state party. The state party then votes on it, every 2 years or every year?
Yeah, every 2 years.
Every 2 years, and that's how the Republican Party platform is built. Yeah. And for the Democrats as well. I mean, they have some differences.
It's worth pointing out that this is not a governmental body.
No.
So it's not. So you would, if you're out in the country, you'd go to your commissioner. If you're in the city, you go to your city councilman or your commissioner. Right. Your county commissioner is what I mean. So it's not that. So don't complain to your precinct chairman about the potholes.
Yeah, right.
But the it's grassroots, and grassroots has good ideas sometimes. Probably a lot more often than we realize.
Yeah.
So if you want to have an influence, meet your precinct chairman.
Right.
I mean, they want to know you, and then, but that is how that works. And so that little group decides how, for instance, primary elections are held. And so if you want paper ballots, talk to your precinct, talk to your precinct chairman. Whatever, and that affects the county level. It affects their input goes to the state level, and that input eventually goes to the federal level.
Right.
And again, not your elected officials, but the U.S. party.
But we can have influence on our elected officials, because if they don't do what they're supposed to, and you don't feel like you can get them, you can, if they commit, enough problems, you can take that to your county party officials. They can censure that person and then make it where they can't run as a Republican, and say, hey, you can still run, but the Republican Party doesn't back you for this election cycle.
No finances and no backing at all.
And look,
and that party determines who runs as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to shut anybody out. You can't go and say, I want to run as a Republican in this primary. I don't think they're going to shut you out. And a primary is a place where you have multiple Republicans or multiple Democrats or Libertarians, and you pick one to go to the general election. But they're not going to shut you out unless you have been censured, unless you have demonstrated a total disregard for the party platform. This is what your fellow Republicans all over the state want you to focus on this time. And if you won't focus on them, if you won't do anything to get the legislative priorities passed, or if you actively work against some of those priorities, then you don't need to be representing the party.
Right.
And that's what the censure process is. We're looking at that here in our House district. Our representative, Gary Van Dever, by all accounts, a good guy. I've met him. I've liked him since I met him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do things according to the Democrat.
He does do things according to the
He doesn't do things according to the Republican platform.
Right.
And honestly, I think there's 151 state reps and 31 state senators. Especially at the state rep level, I think there's a lot of people who just want to be an elected official. And they look at, they put their finger in the air, they wet their finger and hold it in the air, and I should run as a Republican. But they're not a Republican in their values, in their thinking.
Right. Well, what I've noticed, even from the radio show when I was doing that, which you were a common guest on there, if this show has any common themes, one, I love some Jesus, right? He's the way, the truth, and the life. Number two, we're going to talk about protecting kids.
Yeah.
And number three, we're going to point out that pretty much all politicians are hungry for power. And even if they don't start off that way,
they almost all wind up that way.
They all wind up there. And it is what it is. And a lot of times I think politicians go in with the best of intentions. But like your grandma probably told you, or my grandma might not have said this actually.
I didn't know your grandmother.
Yeah, that you know of. But like it's always been said, good intentions pave the pathway to hell.
Yeah.
I mean that's the way it works.
It is. If you can tell somebody, look, do this for the children, it kind of shuts down their reasoning process.
Right.
This is a good idea.
Right.
Well,
So,
where does it wind up?
yeah, exactly. So anyway, Dale gets up.
Dale gets up, and his website isn't ready for it. It's not up yet, but I have a preview of it, and he calls it his revitalization plan. It's to revitalize, fund, and engage the Bowie County Republican Party to leverage our strengths and address challenges head on. This roadmap turns our party into a vital community asset, fostering unity, growth, and conservative values. He's got some solid plans.
Yeah.
I went to the last county executive committee meeting, and there were apparently 17 precinct chairs there. I'm not sure. I think we have
31, I thought.
32.
Or 30. Okay.
32.
Okay.
Because 17 is a quorum, and they just made it. So the 32 precinct chairmen, there was a total of 17 there. I guess that's how that worked. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Okay.
And so they didn't have a lot of precinct chairs there. I think they had more people in the back of the room that were just listening, weren't allowed to interact at all.
Right.
The people in the back were more numerous than the actual chairs that were there. So there is a little bit of a malaise there in the party. They don't seem to talk about. I mean, I don't know what they do really, and I don't mean that in terms of I don't know what a county party does. I mean, I'm not sure what ours does. I know that they find every 2 years when it comes time for primaries, they find a place to have a headquarters,
Right.
and you can go there and pick up yard signs, things like that, the different paraphernalia, the different whatever you want to call it, for the different elected officials to show you support for them. People see their names.
Right.
There's some name recognition, all that stuff. They do that every couple of years. But Dale. Dale's been involved in politics at the local level, the grassroots level, for quite a while.
Right. Well, I met him in 2020 when I was running for Congress.
Huh. Yeah.
That's the first time I met him. They're like, "Hey, there's this guy from NASA. You might want to get to know him. He's pretty intelligent." I'm like, well, "You had me when he said he worked for NASA."
Right. Yeah, he's an engineer for NASA. He's a sharp guy. It's pretty cool because he definitely has a passion for conservatism, for the values behind that. But he's also an engineer, which means he's got an analytical side that he brings into things, and that's what he's done with his goals. And as much as I like the guy who's there right now, maybe it's time to do something differently.
Well,
and he took over from somebody that did it the same way, who took over from somebody who did it the same way.
well, it's like the old story, and somebody said this last night because we eat Big Jake's barbecue before the meetings.
Right.
So not all of it, not everybody, but a lot of us get there and have dinner together. And
Bowie County Patriots meets every Thursday at Big Jake's Barbecue in Nash, and the meeting is at 6, and several of us get there at 5 just to eat and fellowship.
Yeah, that's
a lot
exactly
of our
right.
guests do that. Like next week, our guest is going to be Dorinda Randall, the vice chair of the state party.
Yeah.
And I've invited her to be there at least at 5, maybe earlier than that for some.
Because a lot of times I know that you'll get there at 4:45 or so. I know I get there sometimes at 4:45.
Yeah, yesterday I was 4:30. I was hungry, and I was thinking about buying a snack. And I go, why am I doing this? I'm just going to go up there and buy barbecue.
Yeah, no, same. And so, so we get up there and we eat and we get to know each other, and we're growing. And so I don't want to say anything disparaging about the Bowie County Republican Party because there are good people in it. I know most of the people in it and like them and get along with them in business dealings and other things. But they're not always active because everybody's got a life, right? Everybody's got things going, as do you, as do I.
Yeah.
And we understand that. But just our Thursday meetings are where we can get together. This is what's happening. And look, we're not call and roll. I mean, you show up, and if you don't, you don't. I mean,
yeah. I mean, if you're used to showing up and you don't, we'll miss you.
Right. But if you don't come and you hadn't been coming, we won't notice.
Yeah. And it's something that we prioritize. We don't expect everyone to, but we're always happy when people come.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know. Last night they said raise your hand if you're a precinct chair, and I don't remember what the count was, but it was
around
7,
5.
8.
Yeah,
No, I think it was more than 5.
Well, we had JP.
Can you say their names?
Well, JP's listening anyway. But know that we had the 2 ladies that were kind of in the aisle there.
Yeah, so at least 2 new people.
Yeah, they were both new.
Yeah.
Then we had. Yeah, I think we did have 6 or 7.
Yeah, so I mean that's a decent percentage of the precinct chairs, and it's not that if you come to the Bowie County Patriots you dislike the party in our county. But we do meet every Thursday. They meet ostensibly 4 times a year.
Yeah.
We meet every Thursday. And it doesn't come out to 52 times because Thanksgiving, we don't meet.
Right.
If Christmas is too close, we probably don't meet. So then we probably meet 48, 47, 48 times a year.
Right.
And we bring in really cool guests. But everybody there last night that was a precinct chair seemed to be really enthusiastic about Dale.
Yes.
And especially the new ones that came, that makes me think that they're looking for something different.
Well, I think we all are. And not just in our county Republican Party, but in our state Republican Party. And even, tomorrow, or maybe you don't know, maybe you all don't know, tomorrow I'm interviewing U.S. Congressman Nathaniel Moran in here. And I'll probably broadcast that, I don't know, sometime next
week. Are you going
week.
to skip Monday?
Yeah, I might just let that be the Monday show. And that being said, we all want some change. Like, hey, what's going on? Why are our points not getting across? We put you into power.
Yeah.
Why are you not doing as we ask? Now, by all means, on the federal level, they're being Donald Trump's being sabotaged in every way possible. Yeah. And he, I'm sure it's just tough to vet that many people. He's done a better job this time, but there's still people in there that are working against him.
Not on his side.
And a lot of times, that's our U.S. congressman. And so why, that's going to be a question tomorrow. I was like, hey, why are we doing this? Why is it like this?
Yeah.
And so anyway, it was good to see the new people there last night, and I hope they continue.
And without being tacky, because that's not my intent, other names were brought up for the possibility of being the county chairman, and I'll just say there was no positive enthusiasm for the other names that were brought up. So the people that were there, the precinct chairs, seemed to be very enthusiastic about Dale and what he intends to bring to the table.
And admittedly, those aren't the people that are there early every week eating with us. So it's not like we had it set up.
Yeah.
Like I said, some of them were new. Some
I'd never seen before.
Yeah. And so they're absolutely right. All right, let's let's move on. We're going to change gears a little bit to some national stuff. Then we're going to hit some
stuff. Can I talk about real quick who's
coming
soon?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so next week is Dorinda Randall, the vice chairwoman of the Republican Party of Texas. She's very friendly. Both of them are.
Abraham was awesome.
Abraham George, very friendly. And meeting him in person, he just stops and talks. The very first time I met him, he just stopped and gave me his full attention.
Right. Well, we caught some blowback over having him there without alerting.
Well, not us. Apparently he was supposed to have told some important people that he was coming. Well, but they were told.
Yeah, so. and not to be disparaging of them, but the parties of the people, we the people, is who forms this government. So we were glad to have him.
Yeah, but I did ask Dorinda to reach out to those people who got their feelings hurt last time.
Yeah, good.
Because they should be there. So she is both of them. I have found them to be very personable and also very capable of focus about what they're doing, and I think that's a good quality. After that, 2 weeks from yesterday, Chris Spencer, who's running against Gary Van Dever.
He was on here a couple weeks ago. I already had him on once. Yeah. So
he's a very personable guy as well.
Yeah.
After that, we got a couple of local guys. One is published a book, and he's going to be speaking. David Bradford and also Greg Taylor. He's going to be talking about Convention of States. He thinks it's a great idea. I don't, but I'm happy to have him there. We don't try to squash opposite opinions. We have our opinions, but we'll listen to somebody talk about something else.
Well, that's the idea of that. That's what burns me up about people called liberals. Liberals are not liberal of thought.
Oh no, they're fascists.
Now, a traditional liberal, you give me a Bill Maher, I don't agree with anything he says, but he will listen to what you say, and he will respond with his own. He's liberal in the fact that he allows you to speak what you believe. He'll take it in, and I watch the Bill Maher show a couple times a month. Because a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, sometimes he's going to say something that I 100% agree with.
Yeah, he is not a...
He's a classical liberal.
He doesn't toe the line, and toe the line is T-O-E, means you stand right behind this line and you don't move. He's not that kind of liberal.
Right.
He thinks for himself.
Yeah.
So Kelly Crisp is coming September 11th. She is running for Bowie County District Attorney. Jerry Rochelle is a current district attorney, and he came to one of our meetings 3 or 4 weeks ago and spoke for 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But we went.
And his
we'll try to
mom
get him
comes.
too. His mom comes all the time. Yeah.
And had Kelly in here last year, as everybody, or yesterday, and had her in here yesterday, and then have Jerry coming next week
Okay.
to be on the show,
Yeah, that'll be
and excited to see what that campaign brings.
Yeah. Kay Burton, Americans for Prosperity, is coming. Alice Linehan talking about school choice. October 2nd, we're meeting at Church on the Rock because we're having a forum. They're calling it the 17 Forum. There's 17 amendments that are going to be on the ballot in November, and we're going to have some experts come in and talk about that. And that's not technically a Bowie County Patriots thing, but one of our members. We don't have a membership role, so maybe not. Anyway, we're all members.
A frequent attendee.
Yeah, she's there almost all the time. It's Richie Grant. So she put that together. And so we're just all going to go to up there for that. And there's going to be food trucks there. And then October 9th, Tom Smith, candidate for Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. So Texas has a bifurcated justice system, which means that we have 2 Supreme Courts. One is called the Supreme Court, and it's over civil matters. The other is the Court of Criminal Appeals, and it's over, that's right, criminal things. You weren't ready for me to stop talking, were you?
I was not.
So come to the Bowie County Patriots. It's every Thursday at 6 p.m. at Big Jake's Barbecue in Nash. And again, several of us get there at 5 p.m. to eat and fellowship. I'm expecting Dorinda Randall to be there at 5. I'm pretty sure Abraham George was. It was kind of funny when we had Stuart Rhodes there, the guy from Oath Keepers.
Yeah.
He had somebody that was videoing, and they thought that was the meeting out there in the room, and like nothing was going on.
Yeah,
So
we
she's
were all just eating dinner.
She's wandering around getting video of the beans and things like that. And it's, all right, we're going to head back here for the meeting. She goes, oh, this wasn't the meeting? No, the meeting's actually organized.
And so then we well surpassed expectations when it turned out that wasn't the meeting, right?
Yeah. Oh man, that was easy. Yeah. There was a time that we could have our entire meeting around that table.
Right.
Just 5 or 6, 7 people
sure.
showed up, and we'd just sit and talk. But we've grown significantly since then.
So the reason I wasn't ready for you to stop was at the event on October 2nd that Richie's doing for the amendments. She's been looking for food trucks. Well, any of you local should know about Underground Pizza. And he didn't pay me to say this, but Tyler Trout over there, he sets up on the corner of Jefferson and Arkansas Boulevard, and you can go for lunch. It's $5 for a slice, but I mean it's a slice, and it's the best pizza you can buy. And
What time does he get there?
I don't know. Usually, I don't know, and it's only certain days. So usually it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or something like that.
Drive by, and if he's there, he's there.
That's exactly. Well, he'll put it out on his Facebook page. But I was sending Richie his phone number and his contact information.
Cool.
Like, hey, if you're going to do food trucks at this event, have Underground Pizza there.
Yeah.
And when I was doing the football games last year for announcing those on the radio, I had worked out a deal with Tyler. Like, hey, they're not feeding us in this press box. You'll throw us 3 pizzas. We're going to talk about this Underground Pizza for 3 solid hours on the radio. And I hope he got business out of that because we ate.
It's
we,
good.
We ate well.
Yeah, she didn't say who the food trucks were. I'm honestly hoping that somebody starts showing up at Church on the Rock Sunday morning. Show up at about 7:30 and maybe 7:45.
Yeah.
Because there's people that get there
Early.
7:30, 8 o'clock. It'd be great if somebody would show up at the food truck and sell some breakfast tacos, or
Especially once we get the new parking lot, they could have
they
room.
can park in the back.
Yeah.
Or they can park anywhere. Just wherever you park, just tell us you're there.
Right. Okay, so let's go into some national stuff. You brought this up last night, and I'd sent it to myself yesterday at 4:00, which was funny when you talked about this. Donald Trump, we just found out that there were 275,000 illegal aliens that they kicked off of Social Security benefits. We've been told for so long that didn't happen. That's not a real thing.
No illegal aliens, no undocumented immigrants are getting Social Security, except for those 275,000.
Yeah, and 12 million people over the age of 120?
Yeah, 12.4 million people over the age of 120 on Social Security rolls.
Now, we don't know that they were all getting checks. That isn't what they said. But they were at least in the system.
Yeah.
why wouldn't
So someone is, these people probably aren't still alive, but if there's still a check being deposited, then that's fraud.
Right.
275,000 illegal immigrants, you got to figure, what do they, so is that we'll just say 275 divided by 2. So that's 1.375 million dollars a month. That's is that right? No, 137 million dollars a month.
Yeah, 137.
That's going to illegal immigrants,
Just crazy.
and it could be going towards homeless veterans or just homeless people in general.
Yeah, or our debt.
Or the debt.
Which I mean, let's don't tell that joke. So then from MAGA Voice on X.com, I found this interesting, Steve. The Teamsters Union, who,
Jimmy Hoffa.
yeah, exactly. Historically pro-Democrat, they're going to start donating to Republicans in the 2026 midterm elections. The Democrats have gone so far away from the working man. They've gone so left, and I thought, in my naivete, that after the last election, 2024, Trump rolled them. It was a landslide, by all accounts. I thought, okay, the Democrats are going to see now that they've gone too far, that they're too far left. They're going to have to, just pull back the reins a little bit. They're going to have, they might not mean it, but they're at least going to lie their way to the center. Yeah. And that has not happened. They've doubled down.
They've gotten worse.
And so
Maybe
now
I think it's a rubber band. They just keep pulling and pulling and pulling, and eventually it'll snap towards them. I mean, if they can ruin the economy, then typically socialism or communism or despotism,
yes,
kind of all the same thing.
Right.
Or
one leads to the other.
That's what happens. Anarchy is not and never has been a system of government. Anarchy is a stepping stone to another form of government, and it's always totalitarianism.
Absolutely.
Because things get really bad, and somebody goes, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll kill them all. Everybody's been stealing from you, I'll kill them. Well, and then it's totalitarianism. Anarchy is, people go, I want anarchy. Just everybody to live for themselves. No, law is how we...
Right.
Sorry.
I've talked about that on here. When the farther you get away from a moral truth, which is Jesus and God and the creator of the universe, however, and it doesn't matter how you think he created it, whether it was through the Big Bang or whether it was instant or whatever you think, as long as you acknowledge that we had a creator, he is the moral supreme being of the universe, then there's a moral standard. Our country was based on the Christian moral standard.
Yeah.
Once you get away from that, everything else becomes possible. And so anarchy and lawlessness.
You don't have any kind of code to live by, whether it's your own personal code or one that has been handed down to you, or in some cases enforced.
Right.
Then the chaos is the result.
And so here's what I'm wondering: with this Teamsters going to start donating to the Republican Party, does it wake the Democrats up, or do they just keep going more left?
Do they declare that the Teamsters are all racist?
Well, that's probably a reality. And then with that, so the USAID has cut off funding. You're starting to see a lot of these TV shows go broke, come off the air. Your Colbert, your View, where all these payments were being made. You're starting to see a lack of funds to Democrat candidates. Act Blue is now under investigation, which is who Hillary Clinton went to the other day to looking for donations for her believed upcoming legal battles because of what the FBI is now turning over on her.
The idea that she should have to pay for her own defense, I think that's just reprehensible. As much as she's done for our country, and if she gets prosecuted for breaking 30, 40, 50 laws, I don't think she should have to pay that herself. I think the Democrats themselves should pay for it.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right.
I had this today, I pulled up. Fascism and communism are not two opposites, but they're two rival gangs fighting over the same territory based on the collectivist principle that man is a rightless slave of the state. Ayn Rand said that.
Well, you know what Karl Marx said? Karl Marx said democracy, I'm going to summarize it because I don't have it exactly right in my mind, but democracy is a stepping stone towards communism.
Yeah.
Because we don't
live in a democracy.
We don't live in a democracy. Nothing we do, well, the way our government operates is not democratic. We are a constitutional republic. We elect people to represent us in our laws. If we don't, and that's what the Bowie County Patriots is about, and that's what the Bowie County Republican Party and all these things. We have these to keep these people in check in order to do the will of the people. And so,
it's a nation of laws, not a nation of whims, which is what democracy is.
Because with true democracy, your minorities have zero rights.
Yeah, and the most basic minority is one person. And
That's
if
exactly
the law
right.
says that person has rights, then that person has rights. And if the law says, well, if somebody votes to take their rights away or vote to take their property or whatever, you can do that.
That's right. And democracy is 50% plus one vote.
Yeah, we've been taught that democracy is that's what we do, make the world safe for democracy, all that stuff. But it's not. It's meant to elevate democracy to a status that it doesn't deserve.
Right.
And the republic is a nation based on laws.
Well, and even Rome in its greatness, right? It was a republic.
Yeah.
I mean, and so it's amazing. Here's the story. What I was just telling you. It's funny. I had this next. Maybe this is why I had it in my mind. Trump Army on X.com. Breaking. President Trump has dropped a bombshell by directing the Department of Justice to launch a full-scale investigation into Act Blue, the Democrat Party's powerhouse funding platform.
They readily admitted in several elections, they readily admitted that they take a lot of money from foreign countries.
Absolutely.
And it gets funneled into the Democrat Party.
There's a
For
special
Democrat candidates.
if you have the Blaze, if you don't, go to YouTube and watch it. Glenn Beck's Wednesday night special this week showed the way the cover-ups of Russiagate and everything else, and he laid it out in chalkboard so he could show you how the money filters down, how the directions. So he put like DOJ, FBI, and then he had the people under that. Then he had a list of the people and how they all fit into it, and how it all got down to the message that we get as people. And and he's been saying this I've been watching Glenn Beck or listening to him since 2008 ish.
Wow.
On the radio, he was on Fox News, and I remember seeing him on CNN. But anyway, since 2008, but he's been saying this for a long time. Everybody just said he was nuts and he was crazy and this. But now when he says this, you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what happened. So if you get a chance, go to YouTube, watch that. If you're like me, I pay for the Blaze. You can watch it there. But it was his Wednesday. So what's today? The 15th, 14th, the 13th of this month. His show
YouTube.
there, yeah, on YouTube. It'll be good. Okay, let's talk about Zoran Mandami. This guy, just an out-and-out communist for New York, running for mayor. Looks like he's going to win. He went into Staten Island yesterday, and this is from Paul. Well, actually, it's from Bubble Bath Girl on X.com. But
Don't click on that profile.
Yeah, right. You can see it on Fox News. They're talking about. He goes into a food establishment on Staten Island. They start booing him. The Jewish people inside of her are like, hey, you hate us. You're calling for the eradication of us through your religion. You've said you support this. Get out of here. And of course, like a good politician, he's just waving, acting like he couldn't understand them, but the crowd is going nuts in a negative way, and his security guys are on alert, like getting him out of there. And
think about that, going into a food establishment where they literally sell food, where they literally buy ingredients, put them together, and charge for the privilege of having them cook for you. He's going in there and espousing communism, which is, you know what? If I come in here and ask for something, you should just give it to me. That's what communism actually is.
Absolutely.
That's what it's supposed to be. That's not how it works. You never get to go in someplace and ask for food. And that's what shocks a lot of people under these systems. They're going, wait, I still have to work? And they go, well, I want to be the commune poet, and everybody will feed me because I'm going to write poetry. Well, what if there's two of them? Do they get fed the same? Does one do a better job than the other? How do you figure out which one is producing crap poetry and which one isn't?
Here's what the artists and the creatives that tend to be more left-leaning always forget. They're the first ones to get murdered when communists and fascists take over.
They are.
Every time. If you go back and look through history, the artists, the thinkers that they call themselves the thinkers.
It was Vietnam, wasn't it? Where they went through and everybody that wore glasses, they lined them up and shot them.
Dead.
You must read too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any of the creatives, they're always the first victims of communism and fascism and despotism. Moving on to Politico.com, and I want to get into this because this is going to bring us back home to Texas. The Texas Senate just voted to pass the new redistricting map. We believe that now that the Democrats have come back from Illinois, that this will pass the Texas House. In response to that, Gavin Newsom is calling for a redo to gerrymander even more, which by all means, California's map is almost maxed out, but they think they can pick up the 5 seats to offset Texas's gain of Republican seats. But here's the deal. In the California Constitution, they have to put it up for a vote by the people, and then they're supposed to use an independent commission. Gavin Newsom's put it up for a vote, trying to get it on the ballot by November, and then they're just going to run over this commission. Once again, when you're not afraid to lie, when you're not afraid to steal, when you want the power, and it's all about the power and not about the people, and you give into the communism as Gavin Newsom does, the ends justify the means. He's not worried about their constitution.
I was talking to a friend the other day, and she said she was incensed that Abbott was going to go get these people. He might arrest them. He might kick them out of office. She was just incensed about that. And I go, this has been going on forever. She goes, but it needs to stop now. So I wonder if she's going to be just as adamant about that Newsom doesn't need to do the exact same thing.
Right.
And a lot of there's gerrymandering everywhere, and some of those things are just embarrassing.
Oh, absolutely. And it's embarrassing when the Republicans do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
the maps that they draw.
we should just do equal landmass squares.
As best you can, yeah. And
But-
it's based on population, so you need to be able to. It's cool. They got computer programs that can do this. They can like trace around it and they go, this is how many people are there.
Right.
And so in Texas, we have 151 state reps, and they all have roughly the same number of people
Right.
in their district. We have 31 state senators, all have roughly the same number of people in their districts. It's the same thing for our U.S. congressmen. U.S. senators, it doesn't work because we have 2 senators representing the state, and they represent the whole state each. But
Which, even that, well, what amendment was that? The 17th Amendment?
16th, 17th,
16th,
yeah, I can't remember.
That's when the power was stolen from the people through that, when it gave
Yeah,
took the power.
populism instead of states' rights.
That's exactly right. The states had the power to recall their senators up to that point because they were appointed
Because the state
through the
appointed
state
them, yeah.
legislature.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And so the Senate, it was the House of Representatives was supposed to represent the people, and the senators were supposed to represent the states themselves.
Yep.
And when the states could say, our state's not doing this, you can, then the whole idea was if you just found your state horrible, then you move to that state. And you find out which one works better because
Right.
people vote with their feet. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, and we're still seeing that with the exodus of New York, the exodus of California.
It's a running joke. If you move here from New York or California, please wait at least 4 years to vote.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
state level stuff, local stuff.
Because
You're
you'll see.
indoctrinated.
Yeah.
And those, I don't know of anybody that I've talked to that didn't get just a little bit offended if they're from New York, California. Listen, please don't vote for a little while.
I've lost a client over it, or a potential
I
client.
forgot you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get offended. Well, how dare you? Listen, you're fleeing there to come here because you see it as advantageous. Figure out why.
Yeah.
Figure out why it's so bad there. Figure out why your home there that's $1 million is worth what, 2.5 here?
Right.
2?
Exactly.
So I mean, the same size house. I mean, you come here with a nice advantage because you sold your $1 million 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and you moved here, and you get to put some money in your pocket. Well, look around and figure out why things are working better here than they are in California. Why are our houses 1/4 the price?
Exactly right. All right, let's move on
Don't get mad
to
at us.
the storm has arrived on X.com. Now, if you've noticed, I know you have, we're all, it's easy to be disenfranchised to a degree over how fast we feel justice is coming
Oh my gosh.
for certain things, okay? So,
Yeah.
but that being said, Donald Trump has been doing things strategically, and you can see that when he's not being thwarted by other Republicans and deep state people, which at this point is proven that it happens. So Kash Patel goes on Hannity either yesterday or the day before, and they call it a grand conspiracy, but this is what he says. We're educating the American public as we build through this transparency initiative. And where the investigation goes, I can assure you of this, we will hold people max accountability is what he says for the American public. we delivered before we ran for the Russiagate investigation. So if you go back and look at when the information comes out, it comes out about every 13 to 14 days. Now this is a little Zachology for everybody. I believe that they're feeding us the information a couple of weeks at a time so that we can digest it as they're building a case in the public square. And
I think you're right.
And as that comes, now, if they have the balls to pull it off, we'll see. But as that comes, at some point they're going to say, okay, here it all is. Do I think it's ever going to be Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama? No. Even though they did it to Trump, if it is, good, right? But I don't believe that it will be. But however,
the people who said nobody's above the law,
right?
If they went on TV and said nobody's above the law, then they're not above the law.
I think your John Clappers and your Brennans and I think these
Comey,
people,
so many,
Comey,
Schiff,
Schiff's definitely been all the evidence there now. That being said, we're being fed this so that we can digest it, and there are going to be some people that never believe it, and there are going to be others that believe it instantly. But I think that's where we're going, and I think that's good. So anyway, I just wanted to
the whole we get frustrated,
right?
Because they keep exposing things that have happened. But has anybody been charged? I mean, we literally have some grand juries that have been convened to look at.
Right.
One of the things that Trump was impeached for was mortgage fraud.
And now Adam Schiff's on that list, and
Adam
what's
Schiff.
her name?
Letitia James.
Yeah.
So they it was like the most horrible thing in the world that Trump said his building was worth $2 million instead of 1.8, and he got a loan for $2 million.
But he didn't lie about all of it.
He said, this is what I think it's worth. And the bank agreed, and they gave him the loan. He paid the bank back. They got their interest. No one was harmed, but they still thought that he should be prosecuted for that.
Right.
That wasn't an impeachment. That was a prosecution. Well, if it's wrong for him, then it's wrong for other people. And apparently, this grand jury that's been convened has been convened because the evidence is there's so much of it that people like Adam Schiff, like he's from California, but he said his residence is in D.C.
Which means you can't be a representative or senator from that state. I mean,
there's multiple things going on that's just shady. And Adam Schiff said, how many times did he say, I've seen the evidence of Russian collusion. I've seen the evidence.
And it's all made up.
And there was no evidence, so he lied.
Well, now it's been proven how that was done. You go watch that documentary on the Blaze.
That one's long, too.
Yeah.
But yes, so in case you all haven't heard, Russian collusion was a total hoax. Hillary Clinton was in on it. Barack Obama was in on it. Foreign countries helped perpetuate the hoax.
Yeah, it was a coup d'état.
There was no Russian collusion.
It was zero. It's 100% proven to have been a coup at this point.
They called it a coup.
Yeah, and so there are emails going back and forth on that. It's a big deal. All right, so moving on, FoxNews.com. I think this is funny. The D.C. mayor. Donald Trump federalized the police force in D.C. They're cleaning it out. It's good. So the D.C. mayor, she's probably upset that this is happening, and I'm sure she just wants to be helpful for her people, so she's just doing all she can do to help, right?
I bet she is.
Yeah.
I bet she's
and
she's
doing that
all of it. Thank you, Donald Trump, for helping get rid of the criminals.
Absolutely. She's doing that by going on vacation to Martha's Vineyard while the crackdown's going on.
Well, it might help. I mean, one of the things, this is August, and so that means, 535 of the worst criminals in the country have left D.C.
Oh, I'm telling you, with the congressional recesses.
I'm talking about Congress and Senate.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the recess. It started because they didn't have air conditioners there, and Washington, D.C. is a swamp. And especially where we are, we know about humidity and heat,
Sure.
and it's not fun. And so that's what Washington, D.C. is. They say the advent of the air conditioner led to the downfall of the republic. And I say that in jest, but because it would allow our representative to stay there. They're supposed to come home, come back to their jobs, be regular people.
And we gripe, well, we're paying your salaries and you're taking a month vacation. But honestly, I wish they would stay home,
Yeah, go back to
40,
work.
45 weeks out of the year. You know, no man's pocketbook is safe when Congress is in session. I think that was Will Rogers said that. So when they're there, they're not doing anything that's helpful. Stay home, talk to the people, go out and have eggs thrown at you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm trying to see what else I have. Gavin Newsom's calling that Liberation Day with this new gerrymandering that's coming. Anyway, that's what I've got. You have anything that you feel like we missed here?
I really just show up and do what you want to do.
I like it. All right, everybody, have a good weekend. Like I said, we'll get Moran interviewed over the weekend. I'll roll that out Monday or Tuesday, and then I hope God blesses each and every one of you.